Off our second match. This is Mike Durbin with Earl Anthony. We're at the ABC PBA Senior Masters at the National Bowling Stadium in Reno, Nevada. And in this match, Dave Davis, Hall of Famer, taking on the first game winner, Adam-Toney.
Our two left-handers are in the top five going head-to-head here. Dave Davis, we'll get a real good look at his footwork a little bit later, Mike, and it's kind of unique that he's wearing a tennis shoe on his left foot, and I'll explain all that to you right after we see if Adam can get his second game started as well as he finished the first one.
Adam-Toney just wired in that first match. Now, the fact that there's another left-hander out here, will that mess up Adam's line some, do you think?
I don't think so. I think they're playing the lanes a little bit differently. Adam throwing hard and straight around that second arrow. Got the crossover there. And that's the kind of thing that'll bother a player. It'll bother your opponent when he's looking at that. And Dave Davis is one of the players that'll sit on the bench and not watch his opponent for that reason. He doesn't want, so you see Dave looking down at the floor there. He doesn't want to see, all he does is listen for the reaction of the crowd. If they clap, he knows the guy did well. If they don't, then he'll look up and see what he left. He waits for the ball to hit the pins before he watches his opponent.
So he doesn't want what the other guy's doing to affect him mentally.
That's right. Exactly right. Dave will look down there, and here goes Adam. In fact, he even took his glasses off. I can't see anything.
That means he's blind at that point. Is that right? Adam-Toney trying for a quick double. Well, this game has a way of equalizing and evening out quickly, doesn't it?
And David has yet to look up to see what Adam did. All he did was just keep looking at the floor. He's not even interested. He has yet to look up.
Tell me now, if you were in that position listening, could you tell the difference between a strike and a solid seven?
Well, the crowd didn't make any noise, so he felt if he'd have doubled, there would have been some crowd reaction.
Now, he missed the 7-pin on this lane in the first match.
A little more relaxed, I think, now. And you know, he's got that first win under his belt, and there's always a little bit of an edge to the player that wins the previous match. Now, David is recovering from an operation from about 19 months ago. He had an operation on his left foot to remove a tumor. Pretty major surgery, and so he's had to wear this tennis shoe ever since because he just doesn't have the strength. And he needs that to push off, to get some leverage into his slide. And Dave's always been one of the classic stylists of the game, with one of the best, in my opinion, maybe the best arm swing I've ever seen. He's right in there with Jim Stefanich and people of that stature, or Dave Sutar. Not quite as good as Mike Durbin, maybe, but you can see the left foot there. That's the one that's wiggling up and down. That's the tennis shoe. And it's had to make a change in his footwork, in his approach pattern. Normally, Dave likes to kind of slide his feet as he goes to the foul line. Here, with the tennis shoe on, it won't slide. It creates too much friction.
He's got a heel toe it, huh?
He has to pick it up and set it down. He says he feels kind of awkward, but it's better than the pain. And, of course, Dave has a lot of pain. He's got bad knees. Both of his knees are aching like a toothache, he said. So it's a lot of problems for Dave. And here's Adam-Toney making an adjustment in the thumb hole.
That's a spare ball, isn't it? Leaves the solid 7-pin on the left lane.
Dave Davis defeated Adam-Toney in the match play earlier. He shot 663 for the 3-game match to Adam-Toney's 546. Dave started this tournament with 5 consecutive wins before he lost his last 2 matches, dropping from the lead and the possibility of being our #1 player going into telecast to 3rd spot.
Again, Earl and I are here in Reno, Nevada, the National Bowling Stadium, bringing to you the championship finals of the American Bowling Congress Senior Masters. This is our second match with Adam-Toney taking on Hall of Famer Dave Davis in a basically even match right now in the 3rd frame. Now it's not even anymore as he leaves the 4-6-10.
Really the worst shot Adam's made by far. That's the first ball we've seen go high for him. He's tripped a few 6-pins, but I didn't see the reason for that happening. Just Adam made a bad shot, I guess. 4-6-10 here. And Adam, I'm sure, will go for the 6-10, just try to get the 2 pins and not give away the count. This is considered one of the impossible splits in the game of bowling.
How many times did you make it in your career?
I never ever even tried for it, but I did pick it up a couple times by accident more than anything else. And I think what happens, you get a little frustrated and you throw the ball a little harder than normal, and once in a while it'll bounce, one of the pins will bounce out of the pin and you get lucky.
Yeah, I think I made it once in my life. As he gets 9 out and open frame, he had an open frame about the 3rd frame of the last game when he missed the 7-pin on the left lane. You know, I noticed last night as I was watching him playing some of the matches that he has a tendency for that swing to kind of bounce out away from his body, and I was thinking that he'd have a lot of trouble sometimes, you know, just not doing that the same way every time with the ball creeping high on him.
Yeah, that's a good observation, Mike. I noticed the same thing. This has been his biggest problem all through his bowling career. I bowled on the tour when Adam was there. Adam's big and strong in the chest, and the tendency is for him to, like you say, bounce the ball out away from his hips because of his chest. The big muscles in his chest and his shoulders don't let him have a relaxed swing. And we're going to try to get a look at that backswing. Here's a great camera angle. Now watch the swing as Adam goes straight to the foul line. You see his footwork is excellent, but the ball comes down and bounces out away there. You can see that ball should be maybe 3 or 4 inches to the right of where it is to be back in line, but he tries to bring it back in at the bottom using just pure muscle strength to bring the ball back in. That's hard to do with a 16-pound ball.
And to do it the same way every time.
Exactly. Your footwork has to be perfect.
He's kind of learned to live with it and built into his game over the years, and I've noticed he makes some mistakes, but he gets a lot of strikes to help offset some of those mistakes.
That physical strength that I mentioned that he has in his upper body is what helps him. He can overpower the lane condition.
Now Dave's just the opposite with that nice free swing, good balance. That was a good follow through there. Pretty shot.
This is the best I've seen Dave roll the ball since I've been here. I've been watching him all day. I watched him yesterday, and I watched him practice warming up. He really looks relaxed and loose and ready to play. His balance is good at the foul line. He has been having problems, I mentioned, with his knees. He's had a lot of problem with his left foot. There's with the tennis shoe is a problem getting to the foul line consistently the same way. But now he looks relaxed. He's swinging the ball very free, and he's not throwing it nearly as hard as he was all day yesterday. He had tremendous ball speed yesterday. Now he looks like he's stroking the ball.
Two pretty shots right there. See that follow through on that one?
You bet. And you can see his reaction. Dave is ready. And we're going to compare the backswings. Let's take a look at a classic style here. One of the great swings of all time. Watch the arm swing here as it comes in behind the player slightly, which creates leverage and helps you get around the ball with more power and more rotation at the bottom. You can see the ball, how close it comes to his ankle. He goes through the shot and stays down for balance, whereas Adam-Toney, because of his problems, especially with his knees, has a problem staying down at the foul line, and plus the fact that he uses so much body strength. Instead of swinging the ball freely, he pulls the ball through with his upper body strength, and that pulls him off balance, and sometimes you'll see him fall off to his left, and that's because the weight of the ball, him pulling it down, makes him lose his balance.
Do you think there's any intimidation factor here of him bowling a great bowler like Davis?
I'm sure there is. Adam might not admit it, but in the back of his mind, I'm sure there's something about how good a player he's playing against. And Davis got that early double, and that's just going to add to the pressure. The point now for Adam-Toney is not to make any more mistakes. It's halfway through the game, still a lot of frames left. If you remember, in his first match against Ron Swift, he was down by 30+ pins about this point, came back with 7 or 8 strikes in a row to finish the game and win it.
Yeah, he finished with 8 strikes in that game.
So Dave Davis is very well aware of what happened in the first match, and he knows how Adam-Toney is capable of throwing strikes, and Dave isn't going to let up. Count on that.
Boy, it's another solid 7-pin on that left lane. Just not able to get the break to get something going, and the game just slips away from him.
It does, especially, again, a talented player like Dave Davis. That's your opponent, and sometimes that will, as you mentioned, affect the way you're playing the game. You feel more obligated to throw a string of strikes at Dave Davis. You just feel like if you give him any opportunity, he's going to run away, and Dave is a great front runner. If he gets in front, he never seems to give it back.
Well, Adam-Toney with his second unforced error falls behind by over 30 pins. We'll be right back after this.